to enhance a pro's experience. We've worked closely with our product team to ensure this thermostat was built with pros in mind, more than any other previous thermostat. And I mean, we worked hard to make it a great experience for the pros. For instance, one of the many experience enhancing features of this thermostat is that the installer no longer has to worry about having a customer's Wi-Fi password or a customer's phone for that matter. The pros can install it, they can get paid, and then they can get out. The install process is smooth and it's fast, and it makes for a tremendous RNC product. We also delivered on a bunch of new features that help pros really dial into those new features to help the efficiencies of their equipment if it's needed. The good news is that we've also enhanced the homeowner's experience. Google's done so by making all these cool features more transparent and therefore more understandable. The pro experience along with the homeowner's experience are super understandable and clear. Google made it a great experience for the installer and the homeowners as well. So it's seamless and it's enjoyable for all parties. We took years of channel feedback into account when designing this product. We conducted interviews with contractors and wholesale partners. We identified pain points and we gathered feedback from our field sales team. We consolidated this feedback into recommendations to improve the installation experience and the feature set of the new product. We had a trusted tester program, and that allowed select pros to get early access to test the thermostat before it became available generally. Because of this feedback that we have received from pros, I'm really excited to see all of you learn more about this.
As Gage talked about, because of this feedback from HVAC professionals, the Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen has made installation for pros faster and easier than ever. The Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen has an improved pro setup flow, providing the most efficient install process with more control than ever before. On every Pro SKU box, as we just mentioned, will be a QR code to quickly access our in-depth pro install guide, answering all the questions you have when you need them. With the new backplate, the Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen is compatible with more complex systems, and the setup process includes a power and system test, letting you know the thermostat is receiving enough power. Now you can be confident that it will work for your customers. And everything you need is right in the box. All Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen devices come with a trim kit, electrical box adapter, and the new and improved temperature sensor. We'll further discuss the sensor capabilities later in the session.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. And thanks to all of you guys for joining us today. My name is Ayaz Hussein. I'm the Pro Product Specialist here at Google Nest, and I'm really excited to be here talking about this Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen. I was a Nest Pro 10 years ago in Texas, and we were one of the first companies installing full smart home systems built around Nest products and the Google Assistant and products that worked with those two ecosystems. Now, I loved talking to customers and our trades partners about what Nest could do for them and their businesses back then. And today I find even more enthusiasm and confidence in what we have to offer. Now, for the past 5.5 years, though, I've been on this side of the webinars, and I've gotten to work with our product and engineering teams for the last 1.5 years to help create this thermostat that we're talking about today. This whole team has been a part of building this new thermostat, like Gage and Josh mentioned, and we all thought deeply about that pro experience. And I'm excited to tell you about a number of those improvements that we've made and that we've kind of teased today. So first, this will start with improving that pro setup that launched with the Nest thermostat in 2020. A pro setup enables a technician to install the thermostat on their own phone without needing the homeowner's phone or Wi-Fi network, even if there's not a Wi-Fi network or homeowner at all. Now, the technician will have their own Google Home app and account, and they'll set up and configure the device. And then once that's complete, the customer, whether it's an hour later or a month later, will finish that install process, and then they'll get a detailed feature walkthrough and instructions on how to set this up in their own app. Technician won't need to ask for that customer phone at any point in the process. When they're setting up the device, they're just going to select Pro Setup when they reach that setup screen. Now, your Nest Pro ID is the key to unlocking the benefits of the Nest Pro program. It enables those extended warranties, it automatically earns Pro Rewards points, and ties the thermostat to your company, keeping you digitally connected through their app and HVAC monitoring alerts. With the new thermostat, we've actually automated Pro ID entry. So once that technician enters a valid Pro ID the first time, their phone will pre-populate it on future installs. This helps speed up that install process and make sure Pro ID is entered on every install, making sure that that customer and you as a pro get all of those benefits mentioned. If you're not signed up to be an Nest Pro, stay tuned. We'll walk you through how to unlock those benefits at the end of the session. Now, within Pro Setup, one thing I'm really excited about is that we've added a number of advanced settings and options. This gives the pro more control to ensure the thermostat is optimized for the systems they're installing, such as inverter-driven units and high-efficiency units. We now offer custom heat pump settings, allowing that pro to configure the auxiliary heat upstage timer, droop, minimum delay, and a few others as well specific to heat pumps. Now, for all systems, the contractor can also configure cycle times, including compressor lockout times, minimum compressor on times, minimum heat on times. We've also added some options that fall under what we call adaptive controls, which include our heat temperature differential, cooling temperature differential, and some additional cool to dry settings. Cool to dry is a really helpful feature used to control humidity, very similar to overcool to dehumidify, but it's also used if you have an AC integrated dehumidifier. If you don't have an AC integrated dehumidifier, it can also run on just your standard AC system. Now, this is a comfort-focused feature, and it will overcool your home and may cause an increase in energy usage, but cool to dry may also not always reach that target humidity before stopping. But within these advanced settings, the contractor can now adjust the overcooling limit, the humidity threshold, and the minimum indoor temperature. If you were familiar with this feature before, once you look into this a little bit more, you'll see just how big of an improvement this is in allowing our homes and thermostats to control humidity at a much better level, ensuring those customers are more comfortable. Now, when it comes to power requirements, the Nest Learning Thermostat 4th generation uses less power than previous Nest thermostats. It also has improved power sharing capabilities when no common or power connector is being used. Now, we do recommend using a common wire whenever it's available, and to ensure reliable operation and consistent power, or for systems that are sensitive to power sharing, technicians can always add a Nest power connector, and we would recommend that. The Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen is compatible with more systems than before, including up to 3 heat, 2 cool on a conventional system, and 2 stages of heat pump heating and cooling, 1 stage of auxiliary heat, or 2 stages of alternate heat. It's also compatible with standalone or AC integrated dehumidifiers and a standalone or heat integrated humidifier, pardon me. And for the first time ever, this Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen is compatible with ERV, HRV, exhaust, and supply-only ventilation systems, thanks to those new AQ Plus and AQ Minus terminals. Now, I do want to take a second here, and you will just have seen a quick poll. Which pro-focused feature are you most excited about? What really makes you think hard about this and think about, hey, I can do a lot with this now? What's getting you excited?
And as a reminder to get to the polls on the web, you're just going to go to that bottom right corner, select activities, select polls, and then on mobile, click the 3 dots next to the end call button, select activities, and then select polls, and you'll be able to vote. And we can see what's happening there.
Perfect. So we've got a good spread, the leading option being advanced settings, which I love. That was a big push that this team helped spearhead, making sure that we were compatible and effective with high efficiency inverter systems and new non-communicating equipment. There's another one there, as well as the pro installation guide being quickly available. I love that is somebody chose that. Okay, thank you so much for that. Ooh, even more. Here we go. Improve power test and power sharing. Yep, absolutely. All right, Josh, I'll turn it back over to you, and then we'll keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we've talked about, this is a beautiful new product. designed with pro input and pros in mind. Many of you on here, I recognize a few names. I've seen a few of you the past couple weeks. We've listened to your feedback and made those updates. And it comes with an easier and faster installation and more control than ever before. And of course, we're going to update some of those intelligence features to provide both comfort and energy savings to the end user. The customer setup process provides a guided approach to explain these features in a simple and easy to understand way. This includes requested updates to our auto schedule feature. With every intelligent feature, our installers will have control how to adjust advanced settings for the customer or let the intelligence do the work. Your customers will love these features.
Now, all of these intelligent features that we're about to discuss are powered by updated Google AI. They're designed to help your customers save energy, but always helping them stay comfortable. That is always a balance we try to strike. And even more so, you'll see an improvement in control and transparency. So let's talk about auto schedule first. Nest is famous for how this thermostat has learned from your interactions and preferences and then programmed to schedule itself. Of course, this was originally designed to combat one of the core drivers of energy waste with HVAC systems. People had programmable thermostats, but the vast majority of people did not program them. That's why a decade and a half ago, programmable thermostats lost their Energy Star ratings. Now, the Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen will still be able to learn and program itself, but we've redesigned our schedule learning AI. Smart Schedule learns from a customer's temperature adjustments and presence patterns over time to create a customized temperature schedule. The 4th Gen NLT will suggest changes to their schedules to optimize for comfort and energy savings. And Smart Schedule learns the most during the first week of use, but it never stops learning and adjusting. Now, key improvement here. Customers will always be notified when the thermostat has made a change to their schedule. The thermostat will also visually indicate on the face of the thermostat and in the app when it is learning from a manual temperature adjustment. That customer can also always check the History tab in the Google Home app to see when a change was made. They can also reset the Smart Schedule learning if their habits or schedules have changed significantly, and the thermostat will begin to relearn their preferences from that point on. It will not change the schedule, but it will start to relearn their habits. Now, Smart Schedule will only adjust the heating or cooling set points or scheduled time of the ready-made presets, which are comfort, sleep, and eco. Now, when it comes to Smart Schedule, there are two choices a user will be able to choose. They can choose automatic or suggest, as you see on the screen. When automatic is chosen, the thermostat will automatically adjust the set point or scheduled time of a preset. When an adjustment is made, the customer is still notified, even if they chose automatic, they're still notified via the app, and they have the power to revert that change if they don't like it. They get a notification, they say, we made a change, and they say, I like it, or go back, I don't like that change. Now, if suggest is chosen, the thermostat will still detect patterns of use and changes, but it will just suggest an adjustment for the customer in a notification on the Google Home app. The customer can then choose to implement that suggestion or just ignore that suggestion. If they dismiss and ignore the notification, the schedule will not change. The customer can revisit this suggestion in their History tab of the Home app and implement it at any time. Now, a key thing to note, any member of the household, husband, wife, kids, whoever, they can accept or reject a Smart Schedule suggestion. So you do want to make sure that your customers have notifications enabled for the Google Home app as a whole, so they do get notified of those changes. You'd hate to have one person in the home be the only one seeing those suggestions. Now, the customer can also choose to not use Smart Schedule at all and just utilize and adjust themselves the starter schedule that they set up out of the box. And they can always make changes to their schedule themselves, whether Smart Schedule is enabled or not. Now, another dynamic and impressive change is coming to our Eco Temperatures feature. Now, eco temperatures are the heating and cooling set points configured by the user that the thermostat observes when everyone is away from the house, designed to help you save money by not over letting your house get too warm or cold, but also not just turning off your thermostat entirely. Now, this new feature, Adaptive Eco, will actually adjust those eco temperatures using the home's past heating and cooling performance while factoring in forecasted weather to ensure that the home can return back to their comfort temperatures quickly, with a target of getting back to those within an hour of when they get home. So for example, if it's a cold day, it'll choose a smaller setback so you don't have to wait too long for your home to get cozy when you return. And maybe on a milder day, it can choose a deeper setback to maximize savings. And now again, it's not just factoring the weather in, it's also the home and system's performance in various weather conditions. This thermostat's smart in how it learns and programs itself, and it adapts to the world around it. From weather to humidity levels, the thermostat will provide additional dynamic intelligent features. First being natural heating and cooling, which uses a combination of outdoor weather data and a learned profile of how your home reacts in that weather to be smarter about how to heat and cool, taking advantage of Mother Nature's help. Another example, on a very sunny winter afternoon, your home may heat up a few degrees on its own. And we've learned that. So your thermostat may actually pause the heating cycle and let the sun do its job and heat up for you, saving you energy while still maintaining that comfort. And temperature and comfort are related, but they are not the same things. 60 degrees on a January afternoon in Colorado feels pretty warm and lovely, but 60 degrees on that same day in humid San Francisco or Austin, Texas is pretty chilly. Now, adaptive comfort will adjust the set point based on what the temperature actually feels like with the humidity factored in. So speaking of humidity, this can be an issue in a lot of homes, with too much causing damage and condensation and increasing the risk of mold. Humidity Helper is a set of features that work with the specific equipment in your home, be it a humidifier, dehumidifier, or just a standard AC, to help keep those humidity levels in your home at a safe and comfortable level. Now, the Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen is compatible with more systems, including ventilation, which means that it can be used in more recently built homes that are requiring ventilation systems by code. But we're not just adding the ability to control ventilation, we're also launching a new feature called Smart Ventilation. A lot of ventilation systems just run on a basic scheduled timer and on and off, and that means they do things like bring in outdoor air at the coldest part of the day when your furnace then has to heat it back up. So Smart Ventilation optimizes for when to ventilate to reduce energy waste or overheating already warm air or cold air. Not only that, it's also smarter about when to ventilate in terms of when is the air actually healthy to bring in. So for example, it could pause ventilation when there's something like wildfire smoke impacting the quality of the air near your home. I really do love this feature. I think it's one of the most unique things about this new thermostat. And of course, this thermostat will have Nest's industry-leading HVAC monitoring feature, which is now known as System Health Monitor. So System Health Monitoring can help identify issues with eligible heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, namely forced air systems. And it is a feature built into all Nest thermostats that are still connected to Wi-Fi. It's looking out for potential problems with the customer's system, and it will send an alert if something does not seem right, so they can easily then book a repair with you, their Nest Pro. Now that is if you've entered your Nest Pro ID during the installation process. What we love about this is that there is no additional subscriptions, sensor, hardware, or labor required. And when you enter your Pro ID in to this thermostat or any of our old thermostats, the customer's alert will include your company's contact information, so it's easy for them to contact you at the time they need help. It's a great and easy way to stay connected to your customer through the life of the system, from maintenance to repairs to eventual replacement. Now, System Health Monitor also provides helpful reminders like when it's time for a filter change. This is the kind of feature that our customers are looking for. Smart, sophisticated, and not just a delightful addition to their home, but genuinely helpful. And in fact, when we tested feature sets with these shoppers, they told us as much by ranking this feature, System Health Monitor, at the top of their list. With the launch of this new thermostat, we're also making it simpler to control your comfort. For the first time, we'll be including a Nest temperature sensor 2nd gen in the box, and you can add up to 5 additional sensors per thermostat. The Nest Learning Thermostat 4th gen is compatible with our new sensor, with one included in the box, and it's also compatible with our previous Nest temperature sensors. Now, the functionality is different, where now the customer can choose one or more sensors for each scheduled preset, including the sensor in the thermostat itself. They can choose different sensors for any preset on any day of the week. So for example, my comfort preset that I use throughout the day utilizes my sensors upstairs to ensure my office is comfortable. I just happen to have my office in the warmest room of the house. But I can then use my sensors that are downstairs for my custom preset called after work. So when I'm cooking and relaxing, the temperature is based on that area, and I can end my day with the sleep preset, having the entire home averaged by selecting all of my sensors. Or if I'm feeling selfish, or maybe I'm just sick, I can choose just the sensor in my bedroom. Now on Wednesdays, I go into the office, so my morning comfort set point only utilizes that kitchen sensor and not my office sensors. And while I'm at work, Adaptive Eco will help me save energy, and I'm confident knowing that when I return home, my home will be comfortable within an hour. If my Wednesday routine were to start later, maybe I don't have to go to the office, I don't have that 9 a.m. meeting anymore, Smart Schedule can recommend an adjustment to that schedule so that I am maximizing my system while staying comfortable. Now, the product setup starts with a carefully guided out-of-box experience, step-by-step instructions right in the app, and helpful touches like wire labels and a level to make sure that that thermostat is perfectly on the wall, because I have personally, and I'm sure you have too, had that customer over your shoulder saying, no, it doesn't look right. Now, I've always loved that I can just point right to that level like, ma'am, there's the level, it's right there. Now, we've also made it easier for technicians to get install help when they need it the most. In addition to our Pro support line, which is still available, there's a QR code on the Pro SKU packaging pointing to a detailed, very detailed, install manual. This includes wiring diagrams and configurations and compatibility notes for the most common types of systems, as well as deeper compatibility details, technical information, and troubleshooting resources. All right, that was a lot of information, but we are going to launch our last poll of the day to find out what feature do you think your customers is going to love the most? Is it Smart Schedule, Adaptive Eco, Natural Heating and Cooling, Adaptive Comfort, Humidity Helper, Smart Ventilation, System Health Monitor, or that new Nest temperature sensor and functionality? Jump into the polls through that Activities tab in the bottom right and tell us what you think your customers are going to love the most about this new thermostat. Wait, we can all imagine a Final Jeopardy song playing in our heads.
We have a really good mix of what we think the most popular is going to be. Some Smart Schedule, some Adaptive Eco, some Natural Heating and Cooling, Adaptive Comfort's taking a lead, and the new Nest temperature sensor. Love that we see a mix. We'll give it a couple more seconds before we move on. We'll let everyone fill out that poll. There we go. A couple more on the temperature sensor. I love the temperature sensor. As the camera can show, I am not a small man, nor have I ever been accused of. So heat is the enemy of my existence. So keeping wherever I'm at cool throughout the day is my favorite feature. Adaptive Comfort still taking the lead. That's great. We'll keep this open and allow you to continue to fill this out and let us know what you think your customer's favorite feature is going to be. But with an updated system health monitoring, keeping you connected to your hard-earned customers, quick and easy installs with more control than ever, an evolved feature set that keeps your customers happy and returning to you for business, and it's more compatible than ever before, the Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen is the right choice for your business. The Google Home app connects to thousands of products, enabling you to expand your product and service offerings, unlock future revenue streams, and retain existing customers. Whatever your business goals are, the Nest Pro program is here to help through in-field support, digital and in-person training, and marketing assets. Leverage the Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen, a thermostat built with pro feedback, providing a faster install process and more control. A thermostat that is gorgeous and has features your customers will love to close more whole system sales and stay connected with system health monitoring once you have the thermostat on the wall. To leverage system health monitoring, you must be a Nest Pro. So sign up today and unlock those full suite of benefits for being a Nest Pro. When it comes to the successful installation and configuration of the Nest Learning Thermostat 4th Gen, make sure you or your technicians enter your Nest Pro ID on every Nest thermostat you install. Like I said, this unlocks system health monitoring. It also unlocks extended warranties and pro rewards. Leverage those new advanced settings that came directly from everyone on this call, from pro feedback to expand your control with the equipment, and take that time to educate the homeowner on those new, improved, awesome intelligent features that are important to them. All that's left to do is to go load up your trucks now with the smartest, most advanced thermostat yet, available at your local wholesaler starting this past Tuesday, so it's ready to go. We have a wide variety of resources available for you, including that field support, leveraging the VIP support line, and as we've mentioned a few times, the in-depth pro install guide. If you're not signed up to be a Nest Pro, just scan this QR link or go to g.co/Nest Pro and sign up today. For additional training and support, feel free and please email us at info@nestprorep.com, and feel free to register for some of our upcoming webinars hosted with ACHR. Now that's going to be it for the session, and we're going to open it for Q&A here in just a second. But I have one last question for everyone here on the call, and that is to share your feedback with us. We continuously want to make sure we're addressing your needs and understanding what's important to you, as well as understanding what we can do better or what we're doing well. So scan that QR code, and we'll pop the link here in just a bit into the chat. But we will also be giving out 2 $25 gift cards based on those who fill out the survey. Once again, just scan that QR code, fill out that survey, let us know how we're doing, and we're going to open the floor for Q&A. I'm going to hand it back to our product expert, Ayaz. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Josh. All right, we've got a few great questions here, and we're going to just go in order with some of the folks who answered them here. So, first question, will the Nest Pro portal come back in Canada? Unfortunately, it will not come back as far as we're aware, but it will not come back in its previous state or the way you may have been used to it in the past. All right, but thank you for that question. I do, as a former Nest Pro who used the Nest Pro Finder, I do understand that question. All right, same person here. Kurt, can the heat pump setting go down to negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit? I believe if you're asking about the for a dual fuel system, what that dual fuel break point could be. The dual fuel break point can only go down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit, but the compressor lockout temperature can go all the way down to negative 25 degrees, meaning we'll allow heat pump compressor to run all the way down to negative 25 degrees. You can also choose to only to never run the heat pump. I believe we had a question here as well about working in multi-stage systems with heat pumps in cold climates, but we don't always want heat pumps to be the first stage. Can this allow heat pump to be second or third stage? Unfortunately, we're not going to allow the heat pump to not be the first stage. The one thing you can do with a dual fuel system is to set the to choose to essentially not run heat pump heating and to always use the secondary or alternate fuel source for heating. So with these advanced settings, you should have a lot more control to be able to adjust these thresholds based on the climate and the equipment, where you'll be able to use that heat pump when you want, use the heat pump when you should, and use auxiliary heat or alternate heat. There's a possibility of playing with some wires, but I would want to look at your equipment install manuals to make sure that that's fine, and compare that with how our thermostats work. But generally, we're going to want the heat pump to be that first stage of heating, although it is very easy to choose not use heat pump heating and to always use furnace or boiler heating or electric furnace heating as the first and only heat pump heating equipment used. All right, let's see. We've got a few more. A question here: is Nest ever going to jump in all on board with HVAC, or just stay with thermostats instead? The reason why is integrating zoning to the sensors and a variable speed can maximize energy savings and comfort. While I can't say for sure what we will or won't do in the future, I would, if I was a betting man, I would say probably not going to see Nest making HVAC systems or zone boards ourselves. I think as these technologies, be it zone panels, control boards, as we see them becoming more connected, and as we see these communication protocols becoming more standardized and open, I think there's a lot of really exciting things that could happen with allowing direct communication between a thermostat and a control board, a thermostat and a zone board, similar to the way companies and OEMs use proprietary controls. But if you imagine using, for example, a communication protocol such as Matter, which is one that is kind of like the Wi-Fi for smart home, or Bluetooth, it's probably a better analogy. It's a local communication protocol, but very easy for companies to build with these days. And if a OEM were to put a Matter chip into their control boards, their zone boards, their dampers and sensors, and as that Matter protocol evolves, I could very easily see a world where we could see exactly what coil temps, airflow, static pressures, all of these things were to really dial in equipment. But unfortunately, neither OEMs nor other thermostat OEMs have that appetite yet. But with these advanced settings, with these updated algorithms and improved temperature sensors inside the thermostat and temperature sensors throughout, in combination with the intelligence and non-communicating systems that are still inverters and high efficiency, I think the equipment and the thermostats are going to be able to do, and specifically ours is going to be able to really dial in that comfort. And we want to allow that OEM and that equipment, which has all of that data and is frankly better at that right now. We want to let them drive that intelligence. Example, Bosch systems, IDS, IDP systems. I was just looking at these a little bit more again yesterday, and there are some really, really exciting things of how that equipment communicates with itself and modulates its own condenser. And with our inputs, with our settings, being able to adjust and lengthen cycle times, right? We're going to allow that equipment to do its job to the best of its ability, and that is new, frankly, with this thermostat, and really exciting. All right, question here from Jason Berry. When will a remote module like a Honeywell EIM, equipment interface module, be available where there's just not enough wires? Techmar just came out with one, wondering if this is in the works. If I knew, I couldn't say, but I think that with there are right now, I don't think that there are any plans for that. But We do have solutions for 2-wire systems. We're actually, our Nest power connector is the only add-a-wire kit, if you will, from a thermostat OEM that works with these 2-wire systems. And we've had folks who put that thermostat down in the basement by the equipment and take temperature sensors and put them up throughout the house, and then use one of our Nest hubs as their customers' control, really. So you've got hubs in the kitchen and in the bedrooms where they can adjust the thermostat, and they've got temperature sensors in those rooms. And now with averaging and having different sensors used at different times, we do have ways to accomplish some of these things that the Honeywell EIMs can work with. So whether that is, hey, we need a power connector and a fast stat add-a-wire kit, there are absolutely solutions to some of the challenges that these EIMs are solving for contractors. I am not familiar with the Techmar one that just came out, but I guarantee I know what my first Google search will be once I am done. All right. How about compatibility with cameras across the board? If it has a Google logo, it should work. Older cameras used to connect to the Nest app. Thanks. Thank you. So all Nest cameras show up in the Google Home app. So as you can see, this new thermostat, our thermostat we launched 4 years ago, the cameras we've launched in the past 5-6 years, all work and are exclusive to the Google Home app. So the Google Home app is our control platform going forward. There's a ton of benefits. One, being able to control and see speakers, displays, Wi-Fi, all of these products that Google makes, Chromecasts, or the Google TV streamer that released with this thermostat. Being able to see all of those products, plus your previous generation Nest cameras that I used to install Nest IQ cameras, still have some around the house, outside the house specifically. But being able to see all of these products in one place is what I think Google Home really does. And not to mention all of the thousands of other brands and devices that can work into that Google Home app and platform really gives you, like I said, that's what I used to do 10 years ago, was install devices and systems with Lutron lighting, pardon my French, big ass fans, to build out a full system with Nest cameras, thermostats, Wi-Fi, smoke alarms, all of these things from our products, third-party products, all in one place. So we're not going to be adding products to the Nest app. But I think if you haven't used the Google Home app lately, check it out. There are a lot of improvements to the camera functionality. Somebody who loves our cameras, has sold them in the past and trains on them now. The scrubbing and a lot of the things that people have wanted that the Nest app offered that the Google Home app didn't originally have been added back in. And if you have more questions about the cameras, please reach out to us, info@nestprorep.com, and we'd be happy to talk with you through those. All right. Question here from Robert WR HVAC. Can it work as a 1 heat, 1 cool, 3-speed fan thermostat with hydronic air handlers? Fantastic question. And I love to be able to say, yes, it absolutely can. Those 3 fan speeds are going to go into the G terminal. They will go into the Y2 terminal for fan stage 2, and then fan stage 3 would go into the star terminal. So absolutely, and then you just select your source and delivery methods to indicate it is a hydronic system. Okay, let's see. If you have follow-up questions to some of those, if those were if I answered your question, if you have a follow-up, you do have to go back into that Q&A to ask a follow-up, and please do. I'd be happy to answer them. Okay, so we've got a couple rapid-fire ones here I think we can answer fairly quickly. Can the user turn Smart Schedule off? Easy, absolutely. They can turn that off, and again, they can also use that automatic or suggest options as well, which I think is a really good balance. allowing them to, if they choose suggest, to only say, hey, I'm always open to suggestions. Doesn't mean I'll take it, but I'm open to it. And then they can choose whether to enable those suggestions. But if they don't want to receive those notifications of suggestions, again, remember, it integrates Savings Finder too. So it is literally trying to help you stay comfortable and save energy. But yes, they can turn it off. Oh, I've got another question from Kurt. If someone rings the Nest Hello doorbell, can the thermostat display who's at the door? Unfortunately, we cannot, even though that screen is 60% bigger and really nice, it does not display who's at the door. We really like to focus on doing one thing very well, and we've made a very good thermostat here. But I also can't comment on what our engineering teams may do in the future. All right. Question here again from Robert WW HVAC. Can we connect humidifier, ERV, and or dehumidifier and control it off one Nest thermostat? Yes, you can. Very lovely and easy answer. Yes, you can. You'd connect that humidifier to the star terminal in the ERV, or you connect the ERV to the AQ plus terminal. And if it's a 2-wire system, you'd connect it to AQ plus and AQ minus. Now, if you have a humidifier, dehumidifier, and ERV system, you will not be able to control all 3 of those, unfortunately. Okay, let's keep going here, but thank you guys for those questions. These are great questions. Anonymous asks, is it compatible with multi-stage heat pumps? Very easy answer. Yes, compatible with 2-stage heat pumps, heating and cooling. If your heat pump is a variable speed heat pump, we are also compatible with variable speed heat pumps, provided the equipment is handling that staging and it doesn't require a proprietary data connection or modulating voltage to control that that heat pump. And that would be the same with multi-stage fans or variable speed fans. Okay, question here again from Anonymous. If the air quality is poor outside all day, will it still use ventilation throughout the day? And the simple answer is, if it is, like if you're in San Francisco and the forests are just blazing 30 miles away from you, 1, you should probably evacuate. 2, if that air quality is going to be bad all day long, then yes, we will still use ventilation, because we have, when the pro configures that ventilation equipment, they'll set the minimum daily required ventilation, which is generally required by the equipment or the code, which that pro needs to calculate that minimum daily required runtime. What we do is we do our best to only bring in air, for example, when the air quality is good. But if it is always bad and going to be bad for the foreseeable future, we will still observe that daily required ventilation. But we do our best to make sure that we're bringing in air when it is the healthiest. And then again, making this distinction with the smart ventilation, we can choose to bring in air if you have a system bringing in air, to bring it in when it is not counteracting your heating or cooling mode, right? So if we're heating, let's choose to prioritize ventilating and bringing in air when that air is warmer, so that we don't have to heat the home manually, if you will, ourselves. We can use that warmer outdoor air, which again, I come from an energy efficiency and sustainability background, which is what I was doing in installing smart energy efficient home systems. I absolutely love this feature. All right, another question here. Is it backwards compatible with older sensors? Simple answer, yes. Longer answer, depending on the app you're using, be it the Nest app or the Google Home app, you're going to have you'll have different features. So the features we talked about today are going to be available. using a first generation temperature sensor or the second generation temperature sensor that's included, it will use in the home app, it will use these new features, the averaging, the grouping, in this Google Home app, which I think is super exciting as well. For those of you guys, I know you're going to be potentially replacing some of these third generation Nest Learning thermostats. If they have a temperature sensor, I will say that you do not, that the third generation Nest Learning thermostat backplate has the same screw hole locations. So you'll be able to just pull it off and put this new one right back in to the same screw holes. Rodney, I see you raise your hand. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to come off mute, so could you please add your question or even comment in the Q&A functionality or the Q&A feature? And while he does that, I'm going to answer one more question here. Do we need Wi-Fi to install it? As a pro, if you're using Pro Setup, you do not need Wi-Fi. Now, the thermostat and your phone used to set it up via Pro Setup will use Bluetooth to connect to the thermostat and do the configuration. And then once you've done that, you're all set. You can walk away, be it residential new construction or that homeowner's just not home yet. But when the end user, that homeowner, is ready to set this up and use the thermostat, they've moved in, they will need Wi-Fi to configure it. Now, before they've done that, the thermostat will operate as a single set point thermostat in either heating or cooling mode. So you'll be able to, if you're in RNC or maybe you're in a multifamily home, you can set that thermostat to 72 and cooling, and then it will just maintain 72 until until that end user comes in and sets it up and configures it. So big improvement, very helpful there. All right, Robert, another question. Your customer has an existing 3-speed fan. Your customer's existing 3-speed fan thermostat, good Lord, is line voltage. Can I use Nest to replace it? Unfortunately, you cannot. We only work with 24-volt controls, so no line voltage and no millivolt controls either. All right. That's all the questions I have in the queue so far. So please, we've got 3 more minutes. Oh, excellent. Can I get Nest Pro for service calls if the contractor does not sell Nest? I am not exactly sure the question. I'll do my best to answer the possibilities. So if you're a Nest Pro, when you sign up, which is free and very easy, you will get a little 6-digit alphanumeric Pro ID, which can be put into thermostats. And when you set up your profile as a Nest Pro, you'll put in the phone number and email you'd like to be displayed on the alert and on the app. Sorry, I'm trying to read questions and answer at the same time. You can still buy a Nest Pro SKU thermostat from your wholesale partner, even if you're not a Nest Pro yet, although you will miss out on those benefits, like an extended warranty on the thermostat, which goes from, I believe, 3 to 5 years on this thermostat. So you can sell it. I'd recommend being a pro. Costs you nothing. And with automated Pro ID, makes it really easy to get Pro rewards, extend those warranties, and make sure that your customer calls you back when there is an issue. Great question from Kurt. Is it a wheel that spins or is it a touchscreen? It is a wheel, just like the 3rd generation Nest Learning thermostat. It is not a touchscreen. So it's a wheel and a big button. So the whole thermostat's a button, and then you turn the thermostat, the ring on the outside, to choose your options that you are selecting. Great question. Rodney, I've installed about 4 stats so far, and 3 were blown fuses because the customer didn't turn the power off, and the hole is super small. Yeah, the many, fortunately and unfortunately, there is a lot of opportunity out there with DIY thermostat installs because our customers will, what I often find was that they would find the breaker that said AC, but not that said furnace or air handler, where our control wires are coming from. And they didn't turn that off. They touched some wires and then they panicked because they didn't know what was going on. I also loved it when they left their air handler cabinet just cracked, and there was, you know, the newer systems with the disconnect cut power to the whole system. So yeah, these are all opportunities, and frankly, I would use that as an opportunity to get into a customer's home and get a Nest thermostat with a Pro ID in there, so that way, when that system needs tune-ups in the future, you get that call. When that system is ready to be replaced in the future, you get that call as well. But there's going to be a lot of demand here for this new thermostat, and even if you don't do single thermostat installs as part of your daily service offering, I'd recommend it because that is the cheapest customer acquisition that you might have. Okay, I think we've answered all of the questions in here so far. And even if we didn't, we are at time. So I would just finish my part in saying thank you so much for being here. Please reach out to us at info@nestprorep.com if you have additional questions. It's pinned there. Fill out that form on the QR code or in the link that Josh shared. It really helps us understand how we did, what we're doing well, what we can improve on, what you need to know, what you didn't need to know, and we'd be very appreciative of that few minutes. And don't forget, well, I'll let Josh wrap us up here as he's the speaker of the bunch.
You've said it all. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. If you have any further questions that y'all said, please email us at info@nestprorep.com. Fill out that survey to be eligible for 2 $25 gift card drawings. And thank you so much. Have a fantastic day.